snake with two poisonous glands. It will encircle his neck and bite his cheeks and say, I am your wealth, I am your treasure. So this will happen throughout the day of judgment. 50,000 years. Can you take that for a split second? No, of course not. 50,000 years, each time the snake's reminding you that this is the wealth that you were stingy on, this is the wealth you did not thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for by giving zakah, and I'm going to keep reminding you on it. So the more you have, the more you wish you didn't have, because that bite's going to be pretty strong. And that snake's not our ordinary snake. It's going to be a snake specifically for the day of judgment, and it will be very, very ferocious and very, inflicting pain on us. So that's something we really have to be very, very careful about. If we are negligent about our zakah, and I'm sure most people are not stingy, as Muslims, alhamdulillah, have a very, very open heart, most of us just are not informed about what zakah is and how we should give it, how much, and so forth. We just, lack the knowledge in this area. But what about the community? What if the community in general starts to withhold the zakah? Then again, as the Prophet ﷺ said, there was never a people that refused to give zakah except that Allah afflicted them with famine. And in another version, and rain will not fall from the sky. If it were not for the animals, it would not rain at all. So if the community in general begins to become negligent in zakah, then the community is punished by famine, lack of food, drought. Right? And we see this today. But no one looks at it from the Islamic or religious point of view. They start looking at, climactic reasons for this. But this is one of the reasons. And why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He still sends rain, but for the animals, because it's not their fault. They don't have to give zakah. It's not their fault that they're being punished for what people have done. So Allah gives rain, but really for the sake of the animals and the vegetation. So again, we have to consider this. If we know of anyone who might be negligent in their zakah, this is maybe something we can tell them, we can encourage them. And if they're not practicing, you never know. This act by them might bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it might change their perception to Islam altogether. So pass this knowledge on to as many people as you know, and remind them that zakah is a pillar of Islam. And let me just quickly leave you with this situation at the time of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And it is such an important thing which we keep in mind. At his time, just after he became the Khalifa, there were some tribes who used to pay zakah, considered themselves Muslim. But when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, they said, that's it, we're not going to give zakah anymore. We are still Muslims, but our zakah was just for the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Now that he's gone, we are not in need of giving the zakah anymore. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, after he told them and admonished them that they have to give zakah, then was willing and fought them because of this. Okay? And the Sahaba initially were confused. Why is he fighting people who say La ilaha illallah? As Umar radiallahu anhu asked him. And he said, I'm going to fight people who distinguish between salah and zakah. Okay? Because to him, it is one and the same. You can't pick and choose from this deen. And he fought them, and all the Sahaba at that time realized that he was correct, and they supported him and fought alongside with him. So, a very, very important thing. And the Muslims of that time who fought these people who did not give zakah, considered that group of people as apostates. And that's very, very powerful. They're not just bad Muslims, they're apostates, people who have left Islam altogether. Okay, that's a very, very strong point which we have to consider. And that's why the scholars are divided on what's the ruling on someone who knows about zakah, is fully aware of it, but refuses to give it due to stinginess or what have you. Some of them say, yes, he's a Muslim, but he's committing a great, great sin. Others say that this person has left Islam altogether. Na'udhu billah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. But we have to be aware of this. It's not something very light. And just keep in mind, 82 times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates zakah and salah. Salah and zakah come together 82 times in the Quran. So it's not something we should take lightly. So just in conclusion, before we finish, just keep in mind, the wealth that you have, the luxuries in life that you have, do not belong to you. They belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has lent them to you, let you enjoy from His mercy, from His bounty. He's allowed you some of His wealth, so that you can use it, clothe yourself, buy food, buy things you like. But you have to realize it belongs to Him. And all He asks you is to pay a little bit out of that back to His cause, and He will give you more, He will bless you, and He will make you content with what you have. And that's all that zakah really is. Allahumma ahdina fi man ahdayt, wa fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik lana fi ma atayt, wa qina sharra ma qadayt. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. يا مقلب قلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات مسلمين والمسلمات أحياء منهم والأموات. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين تسليما كثيرا. الصلاة.